Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 24th, 2012. We're going to go over the trades we took in the live trading room this morning and all that stuff. Let me start right out with the results. On the ES, we had two trades. We ended up break even on the morning. One was a win, one was a loss. On the Crude, we had three trades, I think, and we ended plus 15 ticks. On the NQ, we had a couple of trades and we ended plus 3 ticks. Alright, we didn't trade it all on the YM. I'll go over some YM stuff, but we didn't trade it all on the YM this morning. Now, before I go any further, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Sign up for the free trial. In the free trial, you get 5 days with us in the live trading room, 5 business days. You get all the indicators and charts that you see here, and then some. You get the charting package. All the data feeds and all that stuff for free for 5 business days. No credit card required. Just go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Okay? All we need is your name and email address really to send stuff off to you. Alright. Moving on. I think I just showed you here's the Crude, 15 ticks. Here's the NQ, 3 ticks. Here's the ES, 0 ticks. And that was my morning trading in the live trading room. Let's just go over the actual trades here. Now, there were a bunch of trades that set up in the morning. You know, all the little circle areas here that you see are trades that actually set up that I either took or didn't take. Actually, I didn't take. All the ones with the yellow arrows are trades that I did take. Alright, my first trade of the morning was right here. We had a bullish cross right there. We had a bullish cross and price pulled back down to the BBC here. You see, we had bullish divergence down here. Tested the BBC, gave an up close. I went long. It stopped me out right away. I said, look for the reversal of that. It turned around, came back up here, tested the BBC. We had bearish divergence right here. I shorted the close of that, and I took some profit right there. Got back above break even on that. Let's see. Moving along in here, I missed some trades in here. You can see in here. We didn't really have any bearish divergence in here, but the green turned down into this strong sloping cycle with the brown below it. If you're a partner, you know what that means, what I'm referring to with all that. We had another pullback up here, right over here, guys. You see that? Right there. With the bearish divergence, tested the BBC, down, close. Now, I didn't take this because the cycle portion was moving up, but it did have bearish divergence and it did move down. Over here, if I were going to grade the trades, this one right here would have been an A grade trade, and this one right here would have been an A grade trade. You can see right here the cycle portion of the slingshot never turned red on the pullback, and the MA1 also never turned red on the pullback. Yeah, your bullish cross comes back down, tests the BBC, gives an up close. That's the opportunity to get long right in there. Okay. Let's see. The next one that I took was over here. Tested the BBC, gave a down close. I shorted that, took some profit down there. There was another one right here that I didn't take. The cycle portion was moving up. Another one over here that I didn't take. This again was an A grade trade right here. Okay, because the MA1 up here was blue and never turned red on the pullback, and the cycle never turned red on the pullback. So that right there was a nice opportunity. Okay, over here the same thing. This was right at the end of the morning session. It ended up dropping from. The entry would have been here at 88.65. It only dropped 10 ticks, but that's that's $100, $100 a contract. So that was an opportunity there. Then during the break, there was another one right here on the long side. You could have gotten in right there with the bullish divergence. Right there. Tested the BBC and an up close, brought it up. Another one right here. On the way back down, dropped down there, and it dropped down there. And now it's gone kind of flat. While Dwayne was talking, it went kind of flat. We had a little bit of a drop here. We didn't really have any opportunities to take the trade, but it did move down in there. Alright, that was crude oil this morning. Now, let's cover the NQ next. The setups are the same exact thing here on the NQ. Alright. Now, today, let's see. I took a couple of trades on the NQ. Let's see, we started out right in here. We had a bearish cross. Note, everyone, I want you to note that we have the same exact setups, the same exact indicator, same thing. Everything is the same, it's just a different market. right? You get a bearish cross, price comes back up, tests the BBC, and moves down from there. You had bearish divergence down here, suggesting that everything was going to snap down. That was an A-grade trade right there as well. Okay, it just dropped down and kept moving. Over here, we had a pullback up to the BBC again, but the cycle portion of the slingshot was moving up a little bit here, so I didn't look to take that one. You can see it did end up moving down. Now, what we anticipate happening here, guys, is when you have this kind of divergence, the green line should move down into the cycle portion of the slingshot, like it did there and like it did there. And at that point, you know, you may get some carry through or some follow through in the trade, but usually you're going to get another opportunity and see the thing move back up and test the BBC again. Okay, that's usually what's going to happen. In this particular case over here, I stopped out on this one. It pulled back up, tested the BBC, and gave a down close. In this case, you see the cycle portion of the slingshot moved up to the green line instead of the other way around. So I ended up stopping out on that one. We had some bullish divergence in here, but I didn't take the trade because we had too many closes below the BBC. Then over here, we had, you see the cycle portion move down again. It started to drop down, so there was more opportunity on the downside. We had a short opportunity there and there. And I actually took this one over here, okay? Now, when I took the trade, it was an A-grade trade, so I got into it, and I took, I think, 11 ticks out of it, something like that. I lost 8 ticks on this one, and I made 11 on this one. That put me to the +3 that I have, okay? There was another opportunity right in here. You can see more divergence there. Tested the BBC with a down close, all right? Over here, when it did it, the cycle portion was moving up, so there wasn't any opportunity in there. All right, now right here, you had bullish divergence. All right, tested the BBC with an up close with bullish divergence. I missed that one. And I missed that one. And what was I looking at in here? I'm not sure why I have... I think I was just going over the actual setups as they were happening in here. Right here, you had a bullish cross that tested the BBC with an up close, and you had some bullish divergence right there. So that was a nice opportunity to get long on the NQ. All right. Over here, it didn't actually pull all the way back up and test it. That would have been an A-grade trade had it done it. Had it actually tested the BBC with the down close, because everything stayed red on that move down. You see? Same thing here. Everything stayed red. Right now, we have too many closes up above the BBC, so there are no trades happening right at the moment. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave it at that for the NQ. Those were the trades on the NQ this morning. Now, what I want you to take away from this is that we had the same exact trade setups over here on the crude. The same indicators, the same time frame, the same setups, the same everything. All right, on the crude and on the NQ. Okay, guys? On the YM, I didn't take any trades on the YM this morning, but there was one trade that set up right at the close this morning. And the way that I usually do this trade is it's on the 1500 contract YM chart. Now, we had dropped way down here like this, and we were saying during the whole morning session that we're anticipating a pullback up and tested the BBC. When it came back up and tested it, it went right through it. Now, usually what I would do in this case is when it goes through it, I'll put a sell stop in below the BBC, so it could capture me on the way down. Because if the BBC is going to hold and the price is going to fail at the BBC, then I figured we would get down to the zone down below us. All right. I didn't do it this morning because it happened during the break period, but usually that's the way that I would play that. I would have put a sell stop in here at 586, or maybe even below the MA1 at 580. And you can see from 580 it's dropped almost 100 points. It dropped 96 points in a half an hour or so. That's the way that I typically play the YM trades. Okay. On the 1500 contract. On the 4-tick range, I do it the same exact way that I do it on all the other 4-tick ranges. Okay. Now, let's get to the ES. We'll do the 2 trades that I took this morning. Alright. We had this one right here, right at the open. Price came down, tested the BBC. I got long. It gave me about 3-4 ticks profit. And then it turned around and stopped me out. Now, right after it stopped me out, it reversed. We had a bearish cross here, and it pulled back up to the BBC. But the BBC at this point was inside the weekly trading zone, so I didn't want to short right inside the zone like that. So I let that one go. You can see that one dropped 7 points. Then it pulled back again, gave me another opportunity over here. I did take this short when it pulled back again up here. I shorted there and I took 2 points profit right over here. Alright, I didn't short again when it pulled up over here. What I was looking at here, you see I drew these trend lines in here during the live trading room. I drew these trend lines in. I said when it breaks down below these trend lines, that's when the door is open for it to start moving down. It did break down below this trend line and it started to move down. It moved about 4 or 5 ticks down and then it pulled back up. On this pullback right here, I had drawn in another trend line. It needed to close up above that for it to really open up on the way up, and you can see it never did. It never even got close to it. It just dropped right through all the way back down to the zone. So we now have a low of the day at 26. Now when I took this trade here at 10:30, I said I expect that this trade is going to work its way down to the weekly trading zone. I was short up here. I think I was short at 30, I don't remember, 38, 37.75 I think is where I was short. And I said I expect that it's going to work its way down to 28. That's where the weekly trading zone is, and that's where it seems to be wanting to go. I also said I don't think it's going to go straight down there. I said we'll probably move down and maybe get another opportunity for an entry afterward. This was the first move. The other opportunity for an entry was right in here if you wanted to. I didn't take that one. And I took the 2 points off the table right there, and you can see it's moved 11 points from the entry down there. That was the morning trading, guys. That was our morning in the live trading room. Not unlike any other morning. Most mornings are very similar. We're doing the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month. Same exact thing. Follow the plan. Plan the trade, trade the plan. Alright. That's it, guys. I am going to wrap up the morning recap right here. If anybody has any questions, type them in. If you have any questions that you don't want me to answer in here, just email them to support@cfrn.net. That's support@cfrn.net. Okay. Let me just look through here and see. No. Okay. Support@cfrn.net. All right, guys. If you have any questions, just email them to me. Keith and anybody else that can I go over an ES trade? Yes, I can, Keith. All right. Let's go over an ES trade. Let's do this one right here. All right. Let me move these off. And what you're looking at on this particular trade right now, you're not paying attention to stuff down here really, okay? You're looking at the MA1 being below the BBC, and you're looking for price to pull back up to the BBC. When it pulls back up to the BBC right here, you know where the BBC is. It's going to have a little, like right now, I'll show you. If we scroll all the way to the right, you see right here, 1329.21, that's where the BBC is. So right now, if we didn't have a weekly trading zone right below us, right now I would be looking to sell the BBC. Now I don't exactly sell the BBC, I round it down to the nearest tick, because you can't sell 29.16, but you can sell 29 or you can sell 29.25. I round it down to the nearest tick, and then I put an MIT order on. So my order is market if touched. So right here, if I round it down to 13.29 even, and it hits 13.29 even, it's going to change my order into a limit order. Into a market order. I'm sorry. And then it would put me in at the market. It would drop me in right at the ask, which would be 13.2875. All right. I don't short into weekly trading zones. I have to have at least 2 points from my entry to the zone, so I wouldn't take this trade. But that's how you would do it. Now over here, when price was pulling back up here, I had my order on here at 13.38. Okay, my order was just sitting there at 13.38, and on this bar, I believe it touched 13.38 and it entered me in at 13.3775. All right, and then do you guys remember how I talked about that that gravestone doji right there, and how that would be beneficial to the trade if the bar after it, when that bar was working, if it kept it in context by not getting any higher than right here where it was. If it would have gone up above 38.50, then this gravestone doji would have been out of context. But the fact that it closed right there, it kept that gravestone doji in context. So we were looking for it then. That was a good sign. I said that in the live trading room this morning. I said that's a good sign for our trade. The gravestone doji is in context. We should see a move down to the swing low. And that down there is, well, pretty close to where I took profit. Right? I think I took profit 1 tick above it, right up here. That was it. Do you have any questions about it, Keith? I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And we're recording this, so you'll be able to watch this on the recaps once I finally post them to the website. Or get them out on YouTube. I do know that I'm a week behind in that. I usually do them at the end of the week. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to wrap up the recap right here. You see, right now you would be short on this if you were doing it, but I don't short into the weekly trading zones, so I'm not going to look to get short. But you see it's hitting this trend line that I had drawn way back here. I drew that trend line in. At the end of the morning session right here, guys, I drew that trend line. And you can see it's getting up above it right now, so I think it might get a good bounce here. This is also the lowest weekly trading zone of the week. There's probably a 9 in 10 chance that we're going to close well up above this, or at least go well above this at some point in the remainder of the week. Okay? I said that yesterday when we were down there, and it ran up 18 points from, just about 18 points from the low of the day. Okay? When I said that yesterday. I think it ran up 18 points. Was it 18? Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, might be 10. But it ran up a bunch of points. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording right here.